Hi, this is Tony, and we're back on the bench. And this afternoon, we're going to be doing a service, just a disassembly service, on a Shakespeare Encore spinning reel here. So this is a pretty large reel. It's definitely for surf casting, and it's got a 4.3 to 1 gear ratio, and it's rated all the way up to 25-pound test, 155 yards of 25-pound test, single ball bearing reel, but I imagine this probably came off of a combo somewhere, but we're going to go through all the take apart steps and talk a little bit about the reel, and then I will do a separate video of the reassembly of this reel. Okay, so we're going to start with taking our handle off here, and on this particular one there's a knob here that you have to take off. I recently did another video on the smaller version of this exact same reel, but it doesn't have this this cap on the opposite end. So that's just one little thing to note. I see a little bit of oxidation here on that. We'll clean that up. But yeah, this is a decent reel. I'd say it's probably one of Shakespeare's introductory type reels, you know, for, you know, someone that's starting out fishing and you know, they want to pick up a combo or something like that, you know. But this is very, very clean, actually. There's nothing really wrong here that I can see. We will take out this drag stack. I'm going to do that in the reassembly video for this one. Basically, most of the cleaning and whatnot, you know, we'll kind of do here along the way, though. Like take this oxidation off with some 4-0 steel wool, for instance. We'll just kind of tidy that up a little bit. Okay, so we've got a protective cap down here with a small little Phillips. We need to take that out. But yeah, this is the USP 270 model. So, you know, if you have this reel, or if you're thinking of getting this reel, you can watch these videos, and I'd encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these videos, and hit the notification button so that you can get updates on when I'm doing videos. But lately I've been working on a lot of spinning reels, and they're all getting ready for some fishing, hopefully. So, but this is a pretty basic design on this reel, I'd say. Nothing really fancy about it. It's just a basic reel. And there's really nothing wrong with a basic reel. I think, you know, I've caught a lot of nice fish on some pretty basic and relatively inexpensive reels. So this screw down here is a slightly different screw than the other three, so just make note of that. It's a different size. Okay, so now we should be able to pull this side plate off. A lot of the time what I end up doing is taking a small razor blade knife to get in this crevice here to pry this up. We'll see if this is going to work for me here or not. There we go. You should be able to just do a little pry work there. Okay, so very basic. We've got plastic bushing on this side. We're just going to take a paper towel to that and clean this up here. Also take a Q-tip. I like to use Q-tips and paper towels for cleaning, for sure. But yeah, so far, you know, this reel's very, very clean, so, you know, it's not going to need a great deal of attention per se here. You know, you can see all the innards here. Now, it would appear that the main gear isn't just going to come out. Normally what you end up having to do is you have to spin the reel so that the block is exposed down here, and you want to take that screw out, and then that way you can take your axle shaft out. But yeah, I actually have a number of spinning reels literally right now on the bench that are all in need of various parts and whatnot. So, you know, I'm going to be, you know, doing quite a few videos on quite a few reels here, hopefully in the weeks and months to follow. But I get them done basically when I can. So there's our main gear. Not too bad. We're going to hose all this off here with some penetrating fluid here soon, but I want to get all these pieces and parts out first. So we got a crosswind gear right there. But, you know, all this grease is all very, you know, very clean for the most part. I'm just going to take the paper towel to this here, but you can see all the old grease kind of, it's relatively clean. I'd say in general this reel didn't really see a lot of usage actually, from what I can tell. So that definitely helps on the cleaning part and cuts down on the time, which is another reason why I like doing separate disassembly videos and reassembly videos, because a lot of the time, you know, some of the reels I work on, I mean, they're just very, very filthy, and they need a lot of work, and you know, it slows the video down basically, and so I try to avoid that as much as I can. But when you have a clean reel like this, you know, it makes it very simple. I'm not sure what size this is. Let's see, yeah, 9/16. Okay, so we'll take a rotor nut off. And we've also got this. This is actually plastic, I believe. Yeah, it's not metal. Typically, this would be metal, but it's actually made of plastic. So, you know, that's one of the ways that, you know, they keep this reel on the cheap. Smaller drag stack here, you know, in opposed to a, you know, a wider version, and then, you know, pieces like this being plastic, not metal. You know, that's how they're able to make it a little bit more affordable on the pocketbook, if you will. So we're just gonna do some basic cleaning here with the Q-tip. Some real simple work here. Okay. So let's talk about the rotor here while we're in this position here. So you know, you just want to make sure that you clean it up real good and get it free of any debris. And then actually in the reassembly video, we'll get into all the lubing and whatnot, but we want to check our line roller, and we want to make sure that you know, our bail is nice and smooth. You know, this reel's like brand new, I'd say, practically, so it's not going to need much, but you want to make sure you do good inspection work there and make sure that all the dirt and everything is out of the equation, and any old grease buildup or any of that. Okay, now note that we've got, I believe it's 2 washers under here, or maybe it's 1. I can't remember here. It's just 1. Okay, so you just don't want to lose these pieces and parts here. Okay, so now we've got access to our main bearing, and you can actually see the bearing here in this case. Now, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to take all this apart, but if you are working on this reel and you have an exposed bearing like that, really all you need to do is just take some penetrating fluid to that and maybe scrub it with a little brush, and then flood it with some reel oil. And that's really all you need to do. You don't have to go to the extremes to taking all of this apart unless the teeth on your pinion gear are really in need of some cleaning, you know, which in this case, that's not the case, but we're going to take all this apart anyway so that you can see how this is done. So we have 2 screws that we take out here, like so. I'll take that ring out. And there's our pinion gear and our main bearing, okay? And it's the only bearing for this particular reel, okay? So basically, I'm going to take those parts out there. We'll put them in here, actually. So this is Inox MX3, something that I've been using on the past several videos. It's something I found at the hardware store. Not very cheap, pretty expensive stuff. Doesn't smell the best, but it's from Australia, and it seems to do the job pretty well. But you know, if you got WD-40, CRC Power Lube, you know, liquid wrench makes some good penetrating fluids and stuff like that. You know, those are all acceptable, you know, for doing this kind of stuff, what I'm doing right here. I just want to hose all these pieces down. I want that to soak in a little bit before I start scrubbing away. All right, and then outside of that, it's hard to see on camera, but there's a little bit of grease buildup here on top of where the pinion gear rests right there. You can see there's some old grease, and so you want to make sure you get all this old grease out of here. Okay, you just don't want any of it housed in there. And don't be afraid if you're working on a reel like this and you're finding that, you know, there's a lot of hardened grease and it's really difficult to loosen up and get out of there. Just spray some WD-40 or some penetrating fluid in there. Take a little toothbrush and just kind of scrub away, and you're all good. Plastic bushing on this side, note, you don't need to take that out. You just want to clean off the inside real good, and that's essentially it. So that's the disassembly of the Shakespeare Encore spinning reel, and I'm going to do, again, a separate video on the reassembly of this, and I'll be posting that shortly. So thanks again for watching. This is Tony with Back on the Bench. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button. And we'll see you next time.